Good day, Sister Jeannie, CW, Denise, and Maria. Maria, thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate that. How do you like that app, the Wise app? Does that work well? Anyway, today is Saturday, May 4th, 2024. Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I think I forgot what it was about. Anyway, maybe somebody can mention it in the comments to remind me what their excitement is all about. I know it's a Latin American holiday. Good day, CJ. How are you? I bet you CJ knows, and I bet you CW knows. All right, we're going to get into the last part of. See that Sister Jeannie knows. Oh, Mexican Independence Day. Oh, okay. Independence from whom or from what? Okay. The final discussion today, before we get into the next line of the next note. Sorry, the next line of the song or the next night of the soul. Okay, because it's not just one night, dark night of the soul. There's many nights. I had one yesterday. Last night was pretty good. All right, let's begin and welcome anybody who's new and watching. And thank you. And Orestes, I'm not sure if we lost you because this is not an easy journey. This is one of a lot of discernment. So I understand if people come for a little bit and then step back and chew on things for quite some time to deprogram. And in any case, yes, May, let me see, what is she? May tea. I don't know what that means. Is it tea time in May? So anyways, we'll pray for Orestes, just for the sake of praying, and for all those souls who struggle with this new information and this new us. And again, I want to mention quickly too. For example, there was a detractor, somebody who thinks they know, and they believe because we're not in a church that we're not legitimate. And if they really, really knew history, they would find that there are lots of times when the Catholic Church was, really against the saints, if you will. Okay, and they were forced to go, quote unquote, underground, and we're in that point now. And if I'm really sorry if you can't see that, that's work on your discernment and your virtues. Okay, it's pretty obvious. If you're beginning and you're just coming out of Novus Ordo, or even if you're a trad and wondering what this is all about, there's a lot to learn. So we have to be patient with them. And I forgot where I was going with this. So let's get to the dark night of the soul, where I was originally headed. In nomine Dei, Matronam Nostri, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany, and in Catholic contemplation humbly adore the Trinitarian Theophany. And I might add, with contemplation. You might know that you've got something of it when your mind is at such a peace that you feel like you're floating, that your mind is just floating and such at ease. The mind being at ease. Because the body you've already put at ease. It's the mind. Okay, and then it becomes a state that you could stay in forever, really, but you come out of it because you're in this world. And by the way, you're completely aware. Okay, it's just an incredible feeling, and you get healing from that. You get the infused contemplation. You get the infused graces because you are out of the way. And that's the little you. The big I is your soul. Okay. Most holy and venerable Trinitarian Theophany, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O God, Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Dea Matronam Nostrae. O Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to the divine family. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. I forgot to bring the duck. I wanted to show you one of the ducks yesterday. Let's see if I can remember today. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of God the graces which are necessary. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, O God, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Dea Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, and my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O Dea Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, most holy Trinitarian Theophany, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all, because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, who are all good and deserving of all my love, I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. St. John of the Cross, Dark Night of the Soul, subchapter, wherein is expounded the last line of the first song, My house being now at peace. This house of our sensuality being now at rest, that is, its passions mortified, its greedinesses extinguished, and the appetites asleep and deadened by means of this happy night of sensitive purgation, the soul went forth to commence the journey and highway of the soul, which is that of the advanced, which by another name is called the road of illumination or of infused contemplation, whereby the Trinitarian Theophany proceeds to nourish and remold her unimpeded by any mental disquisition or active help or industry on the part of the soul herself. Such is, as we have said, the night and purgation of the sense, the which in those who are afterwards destined to enter upon the next more grievous night of the soul, in order to pass to the divine union of love with God. For it is not a passage that all go through, but restricted to exceeding few, is usually accompanied by grave, sensitive trials and temptations which last a long time, although longer in the case of some than of others. For to some is sent the angel of Satan, which is the spirit of fornication, to lash their senses with abominable and strenuous temptations, and trouble the mind with hideous thoughts and images, so clearly shadowed forth by the imagination, that it is at times more unendurable than death itself. To this sad night is added at other times the spirit of blasphemy, the which crosses the current of all their ideas and thoughts with intolerable blasphemies, at times so forcibly suggested to the imagination that they are almost constrained to give them utterance, which is to them a most grave cross. At other times they are tormented by another abominable spirit called spiritus vertiginis, the which darkens their senses after such a fashion as to fill them with 1,000 scruples and perplexities, which appear to them so involved and intricate that they can never satisfy themselves in anything, nor stay their faltering judgment upon any prop of counsel or thought, the which is one of the gravest stings and horrors of this night, and next neighbor to what the soul suffers in the soulful night. These storms and trials God, the Trinitarian Theophany, sends as a rule in this night and sensitive purgation to those he intends to place afterwards in the next, although not all pass thither, so that being thus chastised and buffeted, they may gradually practice, dispose, and harden the senses and powers to receive the union of wisdom they shall therein receive. For if the soul is not tempted, tried, and proved by temptations and trials, she cannot bring her senses into the harbor of divine wisdom. And the most appropriate manner of this chastisement, in order to enter into wisdom, are the interior trials and conflicts that we here describe, forasmuch as they consist of those which most thoroughly purge the sense of all the delights and consolations whereto her natural frailty disposed her, and wherein in very truth the soul is humbled to the end that she may afterwards be exalted. But as to the time the soul is held in this fast and penance of the sense, it can in no way with certainty be fixed. For all do not undergo the like discipline, nor the same temptations, for this is a measure meted out by the will of the divine family, according as the imperfections to be purged less or more, and also conformably to the grade of union of love whereto the divine family wills to raise her. So will the Trinitarian Theophany humble her the more or less intensely, or for a longer or shorter period. Those who have more capacity and strength for endurance, he purges with greater intensity and speed. For as to the very feeble, he guides them through this night most intermittently, suiting their temptations to their weakness, and makes the night to last much longer, constantly administering refreshments to the senses, so as to encourage and prevent them from turning back. These arrive late at the purity of affection in this life, and some never, for they are neither well within the night, nor well outside of it. Because although they do not ascend higher, there are moments and days when the Trinitarian Theophany, in order to keep them in humility and the knowledge of themselves, proves and practices them in these drynesses and temptations, and helps them with the Trinitarian Theophany's comfort. And at other times, the Trinitarian Theophany does this for long intervals together, lest, losing heart, they turn back to seek the consolation of the world. With souls still weaker, the Trinitarian Theophany proceeds in other manner, constantly disappearing and hiding itself from sight in order to practice them in the Trinitarian Theophany's love. For unless the divine family turned away from them, they would not learn to draw close to them. But souls whose high destiny it is to pass to so sanctified and exalted a state as the union of love, however rapidly the Trinitarian Theophany may lead them, continue as a rule in these aridnesses for a considerable time, as experience shews. Concluding then this book, let us begin to treat of the second night, which we will enter tomorrow. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one God, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, hanc immaculatum hostium, quam ego indinius, famulos tuos, offedi tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro inabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus fidelibus catalocorum vivi sacrae defunctis ut mihi et idis profigiat ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem mirabilito condidissima mirabilis reformasti da nobis spiritus sacrarum mysterium, eis divinitatis esse consortis criminitatis nostrae, fieri natus est patricem Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem, salutaris tuum deprecantis clementiam, ut conspectu divina majestatis tuae, pro nostra totis mundi salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. Et spiritum meditatis et in anima contritus suscipiem rete Deum Iesum Christum, et sec fiat sacrificium nostrum et conspectu tu hodie, ut placia tibi Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite blata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomine preparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas oblationem cum tibia ferimus ad memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum Matronum Nostrae et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere in interne celis, quorum memoriam agimus in teris, per in Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meum ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat op Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipi ad Deum Iesum Christum, sacrificium de manibus tuis, et laudem et gloriam nominis sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram, totiusque ecclesiae sui sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apud sursum corda habemus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te agito clementissime mater pater, Deum matram nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum, Deum nostrae, supplicis rogamus et petimus, uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas, hic sanctam sacrificium irribata. In primis quae tibia ferimus, pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quorum pacificare custodire ad honore, et regere digneris toto orbiterarum aeque catholicae. Memento Deum famorum catuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Maria Josephina Moes, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Mr. Nobody Ann Boltink, Katie, the Cantu and Duarte families, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Line Weber family, John Cahill, Mindy, the Dasco family, the Nye family, the Tafour and Began families, baby girl Began, to be born soon, and the Wolf families. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, child ritual abuse, human trafficking, medical abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange, Catholic justice, and no usury. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society. We pray to shut down CERN, all gateways and portals, all particle accelerators, and send any entities that came through any portals back to hell where they belong. We ask Deum Matronum Nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law, that is the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to destroy Rome and the Vatican and transfer the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal. We ask you to release the souls controlled by the demons Lilith and Asmodeus. We ask you to block the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and travel. We ask you to save or transfer the souls from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel, and to block any so-called laws criticizing the same. All these things we ask in accordance with God's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est et nota devotio pro quibus tibi ferimus verique tibi voluntas sacrificium laudis pro se suisque omnibus Pro redemptione anomanum suarum prospe salutis et volamitate sue, tibi redunt volta sua, terno Deum vivo et vero, communicantes et momentum venerantes in primis gloriose semper Deum maternam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papae Sancta Petri, et Sancta Lucia, et Sancta Jacinta, et Sancta Francisco, et Sancta Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum, tuorum quorum meritis praetibus concedas. Ut in omnibus protectionis Tuae munerem exidio pedinum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratum acceptabulum capicidi dineris ut nobis corpum, et sanguim fiat et dilectissimi filium Tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, fredid dique luminis sui dicenza cipite, et mondo coti ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simen in modo postcom ceremonias accipiens, et hunc preclarum calicem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas et in tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit dique luminis sui dicenza cipite et vivite ex aeones. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, et quod est cum efficieritissime mono facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servituis et plebs tua sancta Iustum Christum filium tuum Deum nostre, tambe et passionis nec non et fidis resurrectionis. Sed et in celos gloriosa ascensionis afferimus, preclari majestatitudi tuis donis actatis, supraque papitso axere novo respicere digneris. Supplices, teragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ibi hic per manus tuum, ut quod, ex hoc autalis participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium Tuum, corpus et sanguinem sensenimus, omni sanctificatione, celestia gratia Dei per amor pedinum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Grace Kogan, for whom this Mass is being offered. Grammy. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum quiescentibum locum refugere lucis et pacis ut ondo gesta proclamar pedinum Christum Deum nostrum. Per quem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivificas, consecratis et prestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est ibi Deum maternam omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea maternam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea maternam nostrae, maternam Deum Iesum Christum misericordia nobis, peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quae sumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Deum maternam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in diebus nostris. Ut ope misericordiae Tui aduiti te peccato simus, semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per indum Deum nostrum Iesum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivet et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Ecum extio consecratio copris et sanguinis, Deum Iesum Christum fiat accipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum maternam nostrae, cooperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum abundibus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis et facime tue semper in harare mandatis, et atinum cum separare permittas, qui cum eodem Deum maternam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam, perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego in dignus sum represimo non mihi proveniat in judicium condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad totalmente medesa corporis, et ad medelum percipiendum qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum maternam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem, et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum maternam nostrum non sunt dignius, ubitus et te meis, in tanto verba sabatonum mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, ubitus et te meis, in tanto verba sabatonum mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, ubitus et te meis, in tanto verba sabatonum mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retribundum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus queritud mihi, calicem saectaris accipiem et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum maternam nostri et ab inimicis meis avocero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Quod ore sumpsimus Deum Iesum Christum piedemente capiamus et immune temperae fiat nobis remedium sempiternam. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sumpsis et sanguis, quem petave heravis cerbus meis presta, ut in me non remenia sceleram macula, quem pura et sancta refacerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids. We beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, ite missa est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium servitutis mei e presta ut sacrificium cor oculis tuae majestatis in us obtoritivis et tratatorem equet omnibus pro quibus irut obtoliciti miserante perpetuabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum. Deum Matronam Nostra et Deum Iesum Christum, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and the immaculate heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for attending today, and T can type. T can't type. I can't type. Okay. It's early. That's why. It's very early. I get it. My first words were when I started this Mass. So thank you for coming. And I really appreciate your charity and your adherence and your perseverance and your fortitude. This is what we need these days. Please go and have a great day today. Sanctify all those who you meet in one way or another, and serve the Trinitarian Theophany, and fear not. We'll see you tomorrow.